Dear God, Betty! Betty, will you wake? Will you open your eyes, Betty? Please! Little one.
Uncle, Susanna Walcott's here from Dr. Griggs.
Oh, the doctor, let her come.
Come in, Susanna!
What does the doctor say, child?
Dr. Griggs, he bid me tell you, Reverend Sir, that he cannot find no medicines for it in his books.
Then he must search on.
Aye, sir, he bid me tell you he hath been searching his books since he left you, but he believes you might look to unnatural things for the cause of it.
No, there be no unnatural causes here. Tell him that I have sent for Reverend Hale of Beverly, and Mr. Hale will surely confirm that. Let him look to medicine, and put out all thought of unnatural causes. There be none.
Aye, sir, he bid me tell you.
Speak nothing of it in the village, Susanna.
Go directly home and speak nothing of unnatural causes.
Aye, sir, I pray for her.
Uncle, the rumor of witchcraft is all about. I think you'd best go down there and deny it yourself. The parlor is packed with people, sir. I'll sit with her.
What do I tell them, Abigail? That my daughter and my niece I discovered dancing like heathen in the forest?
Uncle, we did dance and let you tell them I confessed it and I'll be whipped if I must be, but they're speaking of witchcraft and Betty is not witched.
Abigail, I cannot go before the congregation when I know you have not opened with me. What did you do with her in the forest?
Uncle, we danced and when you left it on us so suddenly, Betty took fright and she fainted and there's the whole of it.
Child, sit you down.
I love Betty dearly.
Now look, you child. I have no desire to punish you. That will come in its time. But if you have trafficked with spirits in the forest, I must know it. For surely my enemies will, and they will ruin me with it.
Oh, we never conjured.
Then why could she not move herself since midnight? This child is desperate. It must come out. My enemies will bring it out. Do you understand that I have many enemies?
I think so, Uncle.
There's a faction that is sworn to drive me from my pulpit. Do you understand that?
I know it, sir.
Now then, in the midst of such destruction, my own household is discovered to be the very center of some obscene practice. Abominations are done in the forest.
For only sport, Uncle, please.
I saw Tituba waving her arms over the fire when I came to her. Why was she doing that? And I heard a screeching and a gibberish coming from her mouth.
She always sings her Barbados songs and we dance.
Blink what I saw, Abigail, for my enemies will not blink it. I saw a dress lying in the grass.
A dress?
Aye, a dress, and I thought I saw someone naked running through the trees.
No one was naked.
I
You mistake yourself.
saw it, Abigail. Now tell me true. Now my ministry's at stake. My ministry, and perhaps your cousin's life. Whatever abomination you have given me now, give me all of it. For I dare not be taken unaware when I go before them down there.
There's nothing more, Uncle, I swear.
I've given you a home, child. I've given you a home and I have put clothes on your back. So give me upright answer!
Uncle, please.
Your name in this town, it is entirely white, is it not?
Why, I'm sure it is, sir. There be no blush about my name.
Gail, is there any other reason than you have given me for Goody Proctor's discharging you? It troubles me that you are now 7 months out of their house, and in all this time no other family has ever called for your service.
They want slaves!
Oh.
Not such as I! Let them send to Barbados for that. I will not black my face for any of them.
Oh, no, I cannot have a...
It is a marvel. It is surely a stroke of hell upon you.
Good morning, Mrs. Putnam.
How high did she fly? How high?
Oh, she never flew.
I'm sure she did. Mr. Collins saw her going over Inglesill's barn and come down light as a bird.
Look,
he
you,
said.
Goody Ann, she never... Good morning, Mr. Putnam.
It is a providence the thing is out now. It is a providence.
What's up, sir? What...
Why, her eyes is closed. Look, you Anne.
Why, that's strange. Ours is open.
Your Ruth is sick?
I'd not call it sick. The devil's touch is heavier than sick. It's death driving into them, forked and hooked.
Pray not. How does she ail?
She ails as she must. She never waked this morning, and yet her eyes open and she walks. Yet she hears not, sees not, and cannot eat. Her soul is taken surely.
They say you sent for Reverend Hale of Beverly.
Precaution only. They say he has much experience in the demonic arts, and I'm sure
And
he'll...
found a witch in Beverly last year, and let you remember that.
And they only thought that were a witch. And I'm sure there be no element of witchcraft here.
No witchcraft. Now look at you.
Thomas! I pray you, leave not to witchcraft. Sir, I know you, least of all, would never wish so disastrous a charge laid upon me. They will howl me out of Salem for such corruption in my house.
Sir, I've taken your part in all contention here, and I would continue. But I can no longer if you hold back in this. There are hurtful, vengeful spirits laying hands on these children.
But Thomas, you cannot just calm down.
Please tell them what you've done.
Mr. Paris, I have laid 7 babies unbaptized in this earth. Believe you me, sir, you never saw more hardy babies born. Yet each would wither in my arms the very night of their birth. I have spoken nothing, but my heart has clamored intimations. And now this year, my Ruth, my only, I see her turning strange. A secret child she has become, and shrivels like a suckling babe we're pulling on her life. And so I thought to send her to your Tituba.
To Tituba? What made Tituba?
Tituba knows how to speak to the dead.
And it is a formidable sin to conjure up the dead.
And I take it on my soul. But how else may we surely know what person murdered my babies?
Woman, you can't.
They were murdered, Mr. Paris. And mark this for proof. Last night, my Ruth were ever so close to their little spirits. For how else is she struck dumb now, except some power of darkness would stop her mouth? It is a marvelous sign.
Don't you understand it, sir? There's a murdering witch among us bound to keep herself in the dark. Let your enemies make of it what they will. You cannot blink it more.
And you were conjuring spirits last night, weren't you?
Not I, sir, not I.
Now I'm undone! Now I am
I'm
undone!
not undone. Let you take hold here and wait for no one to charge you. Declare it yourself you have discovered witchcraft.
In my house! In my house, Thomas! They will topple me with this. They will make of it
Mercy, I came to see how Betty is.
Why are you not home? Who's with Ruth?
Her grandma came. She improved a little, I think. She gave a powerful sneeze before.
Sign of life.
I fear no more of any pardon. It were a grand sneeze, another like it would shake our wits together, I'm sure.
Well, will you leave me now, Thomas? I should like to pray a while. Alone?
Uncle, you've prayed since midnight. Won't you go down?
Oh no, I'll wait till Mr. Hale arrives.
Let you strike out against the devil, sir, and the village will praise you for it. Go down, speak to them, pray with them. They're thirsting for your word, mister. Surely you'll pray with them.
Yes, I have no desire for disputation this morning, so I will lead them in a song. But let you say nothing of witchcraft. I will not speak of it. The cause is yet unknown.
Mercy, go home to Ruth, do you hear?
I know.
She starts for the window. Cry for me at once.
Yes, Uncle.
There's terrible power in her arms today.
Oh, is Ruth sick? It's weird as hell or not. She seems to walk like a dead one since last night.
Betty, wake up now! Betty!
Have you tried beating her? I gave birth to go in and awake her for a minute. Here, let me have her.
No! He'll be coming up soon now. If they be asking questions, you tell them we danced. I told them as much already.
And what more?
We saw you naked. Oh, Jesus! What do we do? The whole village is out.
Oh, what'll we do?
I just come from the farm and the whole country's talking witchcraft. They'll be calling us witches,
They'll be
Abby.
calling us witches, Abby. She means to tell, I know it.
Abby, we've got to tell witcheries and hang an error, a hanging like they done in Boston 2 years ago. We must tell the truth. You only be whipped for dancing and the other thing.
Oh, we'll be whipped.
I never done none of it. I only looked.
Oh, you're a great one for looking, aren't you, Mary Warren?
Betty! Betty, wake up now. It's Abigail. I'll beat you, Betty! Why? You seem improving? Listen, I talked to your papa. I told him everything. He knows now. He knows. I want my mama. What ails you, Betty? Your mama's dead and buried. I'll fly to mama. Let me fly. Get her! Betty! Get her! Betty, listen to me. Listen to me. I talked to your papa, okay? I told him everything, okay? You take blood, Abby. You didn't tell him that. Betty, you will never say that again. Do you understand me? You will never. You did. You drank a charm to kill John Proctor's wife. You drank a charm to kill Goody Proctor. Shut it, Betty! Mama. No, look you. All of you. We danced. And Tituba conjured Ruth Putnam's dead sisters. And that is all. And mark this. Let any of you breathe a word or the edge of a word about the other things, and I will come to you in the black of some terrible night, and I will bring a pointy reckoning that will shudder you. And you know I can do it. I saw Indians smash my dear parents' heads on the pillow next to
I not? Why shall I pay you? I spend more time looking for you than my cows!
I only come to see the great doings in the world.
I'll give you a great doing on your arse one of these days. Now get you home. My wife waits with your work.
I'd best be off. I have my work to watch. Good morning, Mr. Proctor. She's only gone silly somehow. She'll come out of it.
Say she flies, Abigail. Where are her wings?
John, sure you're not believing she flies?
The road past my house is a pilgrimage all morning. The whole town's mumbling witchcraft.
Oh, posh. We were only dancing in the woods last night, and my uncle left it on us. She took fright, is all.
Dancing in the moonlight, Abigail? You'll be clapping the stalks before you're 20.
John, give me a word, a soft word.
I've not come for that, Abigail.
You came 5 miles to see a silly girl fly.
I came to see what mischief your uncle's brewing now. Put it out of mind, Abigail.
I'm waiting for you every night.
You will wait no longer. Put it out of mind.
You're surely sporting with me.
You know me better than that.
I know. How you clutched my back behind your house and sweated like a stallion whenever I come near. I saw your face when she put me out. You loved me, that you do.
That is a wild thing to say.
A wild thing may say wild things. I've seen you since she put me out. I've seen your nights.
Abigail, I've hardly stepped off my farm this 7 month.
I have a sense for heat. John, yours has brought me to my window. Do you tell me you've never looked up at my window?
Perhaps I have.
I know you, John. I know you. I cannot sleep for dreaming. I cannot dream, but I wake and walk about the house as though I'd see you coming through some door.
Child!
Why do you call me child?
Abigail, perhaps I have thought of you softly, but I'd sooner cut off my arm before I ever reach you again. Put it out of mind, Abigail. We never touched.
Aye, but we did.
Aye, but we did not.
I marvel at how such a strong man may let such a sickly wife.
You will speak nothing of Elizabeth.
She's blackening my name in the village. She's spreading lies about me. She's a cold, sniveling woman, and you bend to her.
Do you look for a whipping, Abigail?
I look for John Proctor. But knowledge in my heart. I never knew what pretense Salem was. I never knew these lying lessons I was taught by these Christian women and their covenanted men. And now you bid me tear the light from my eyes. I will not. I cannot. You loved me once, John Proctor, and whatever sin it is, you love me yet. Pity me, John.
There's a hard sickness here, Giles Corey, so please keep quiet.
Oh, I've not said a word. No one here can testify I've said a word. Is she going to fly again? I hear she flies.
Man, be quiet now.
What have you done?
Pray, calm yourselves. I've 11 children, I've been 26 times a grandmother, and I've seen them all through their silly seasons. And when it comes upon them, they'll run the devil bow-legged with their mischief. I think she'll wake when she tires of it. A child's spirit is, like a child, and you cannot catch it by running after it. You must instead stand still, and for love, it will soon itself come back.
Aye. It's the truth of it, Rebecca.
This is no silly season, Rebecca. My Ruth is bewildered. She cannot eat.
Well, then perhaps she's not hungered yet. Mr. Paris, I hope you do not go to the village in search of loose spirits. There's talk of that outside.
Rumor is about that the devil may be among us, and I would like to satisfy them that they are wrong.
Then go out and call them wrong. Are you our minister, or is Mr. Hale? Did you even consult the wardens of the church before you called this man to look for devils?
He's not coming.
Then what is he coming for?
Our children died.
I see none dying,
Hey,
Mr.
John, calm yourself. I think we'd best send Reverend Hale back as soon as he comes. It'll just set us all to arguing again in the society, and we thought to have peace this year. I think we ought to rely now on Dr. Briggs and good prayer.
Rebecca, the doctor is baffled.
If so he is, then let us go to God for the cause of it. There is a prodigious danger in the seeking of loose spirits, and I fear it. I fear it.
Let us rather blame ourselves and...
How may we blame ourselves? I am one of 9 sons. The Putnam seed have peopled this province. And yet I have 1 child, left of 8, and now I see he shrivels.
I cannot fathom that.
But I must. Rebecca, you think it God's work that you never lose a grandchild or child either, and I lose all but 1?
When Reverend Hale gets here, you will proceed to look for
You
something.
cannot command Mr. Paris. You vote by name in the society, not by acreage.
Mr. Proctor, I don't think I've seen you so worried on this society. I don't think I've seen you at Sabbath meeting since snow flew.
I have trouble enough without I travel 5 miles to hear him preach of nothing but bloody hellfire and damnation. There are many others who stray from the church these days because he hardly ever mentions God anymore.
It's a drastic charge, Mr. Proctor.
It's somewhat true. There are many that quail to bring their children.
Don't preach for children, Rebecca. It's not the children who are unmindful of their obligations to this ministry.
Obligations.
Obligations, yes. Where's my firewood, Mr. Proctor? My contract provides I be supplied with all my firewood, and I'm waiting since November for even a stick. And even then I had to show my frostbitten hands like some London beggar. Look,
I think you are allowed £6 a year to buy firewood, Mr. Paris.
I paid little enough without I spend £6 on firewood, Mr. Corey. The salary is £66, Mr. Proctor. I'm not some preaching farmer with a book under my arm. I'm a graduate of Harvard College.
High and well instructed in arithmetic.
You will look far for a man of my kind at £60 a year. I'm not used to this poverty. I do not fathom it. Why am I persecuted here? I cannot offer one proposition and there be a howling riot of argument. I've often wondered if the devil be in its summer. I cannot understand you people.
Mr. Paris, you're the first minister to ever demand the deed to this house.
I'm your 3rd preacher in 7 years, Mr. Proctor. I do not wish to be put out like the cat whenever some majority feels the wind. People seem not to understand that the minister is the Lord's man in the parish. A minister is not to be so lightly crossed and contradicted.
Aye.
There's either obedience or the church will burn like hell.
Oh, can you speak for 1 minute without we land in hell again? I am sick of hell.
It is not for you to
I
say.
can speak my heart, I think.
What are we, Quakers?
Oh,
We are not Quakers here yet, Mr. Proctor, and you may tell that to your followers.
my followers.
Aye, your followers. There's a faction in this church. There is a faction and there is a party.
Against you.
Against him and all authority.
Well, I better go find this party and join it.
Does not mean that.
I mean it solemnly, Rebecca. I like not the smell of this authority. I've crop to sow and lumber to drag home. Say you, child. Say there's a party. Go find this party and join it.
Well, I've changed my opinion of a man, John. Mr. Paris, I beg your pardon. I never thought you had so much iron in you.
Oh, why? Thank you, Giles.
It suggests to the mind, but the trouble be among us all these years. Wherefore be everyone suing everyone else? I myself have been in court 6 times
Giles!
a year, and I've done nothing but...
And it's the devil's fault that a man cannot say good morrow to you without it be clapped for defamation. You're old and you're not hearing as you once could.
John Proctor, only last month I've collected £4 damages for you publicly saying I burned the roof
I
off
paid
your
even
house.
though I didn't say anything. So I think I can call you deaf without charge. Come along and help me drag my lumber home, child.
Damn.
Mr. Proctor, if I may ask, what lumber is that you're dragging home?
My lumber from the edge of my northwestern tract along the riverside.
Why, we've gone wild this year, haven't we? That tract is in my bounds, Mr. Proctor. It is in my
In
bounds.
your bounds? I bought that tract from Goody Nurse's husband not 6 months ago.
He had no right to sell it. It clearly states in my grandfather's
In your
that all the land-
grandfather's will? Your grandfather had a habit of willing away land that was not his, if I may speak plainly.
That's God's truth. He nearly willed away my north pasture, but he knew I'd break his fingers if he set his name to it. Let's get your lumber home, John. I feel a sudden will to work coming on.
You load 1 oak of mine, and you'll fight to drag it home.
I, and we'll win too, Putnam. This fool and I. Come on, John.
I'll have my men on you, Corey. I'll clap a writ on you.
Pray, someone take these.
Mr. Hale, it's good to see you again, sir.
Oh, they must be, for they are weighted with authorities.
Well, you certainly come prepared.
Aye, Mr. Paris, we shall need hard study if it comes to tracking down the old boy. My, you cannot be Rebecca Nurse.
I am, sir. Do you know me?
It is strange how I knew you, but I suppose you look as such a good soul should. We have all heard of your great charities in Beverly.
Do you know this gentleman? This is Mr. Thomas Putnam and his good wife Anne.
Putnam, why I had not expected such distinguished company, sir.
It doesn't seem to help us today, Mr. Hale. We look to you to come to our house and save our child.
Your child ails too.
Aye, her soul is taken surely. She sleeps and yet she walks.
She cannot eat.
She cannot eat. Why, do you men also
Oh,
have
no,
afflicted
sir.
children?
These are farmers. John Proctor
Oh, you
is...
don't believe in witches.
I never spoke one way or another on the matter. Come along, Giles. We've work to do.
No, I think not, John. I have a few queer questions of my own to ask this fella.
Mr. Hale, I hear you're a sensible man. You may leave some of it in Salem.
You look to my daughter, sir? She's tried to leap out the window, and this morning I discovered her waving her arms on the high road as though she'd fly.
Tries to fly.
She cannot bear to hear the Lord's name, mister. There's a sure sign of witchcraft afloat.
No. Now let me instruct you. We cannot look to superstition in this. The devil is precise, and the marks of his presence are as definite as stone. We must only look for his proper signs and judge nothing beforehand. Now, I must tell you all that I shall not proceed unless you are prepared to believe me should I find no trace of hell in this.
That sounds fair.
It is agreed, sir. We will abide by your judgment.
Good then. Now, Mr. Paris, what were your first signs of this strangeness?
Why, I discovered her and my niece Abigail and 10 or 12 others dancing in the woods last night.
You permit
Oh,
dancing?
no, sir, no. It
Mr.
was-
Hale, Mr. Paris's slave Tituba has knowledge of conjuring, sir.
We cannot be sure of that, Goody Ann.
I know it, sir. I sent my daughter Ruth that she should learn from Tituba who murdered her sister.
Goody Ann, you sent a child to conjure up the dead?
Oh, let God blame me, not you, Rebecca. I'll not have you judging me anymore. Mr. Hale, is it a natural sign to lose 7 children in childbirth?
7 dead in childbirth?
Aye.
What books are these, sir?
What's there, sir?
Here is all the invisible world. Cut, defined, and calculated. In these books, the devil stands stripped of his brute disguises. Here are all your incubi, your familiar spirits, your succubi, your incubi, your witches that go by land, by air, and by sea, your wizards of the night and of the day. Have no fear now. We shall find him out if he has come among us, and I mean to crush him utterly if he has shown his face.
Will it hurt the child, sir?
I cannot tell. For if she is truly within the devil's grip, we may have to rip and tear to get her free.
I think I'll be going then. Much hope for this.
Rebecca, we may open up the boil of all our troubles today.
Let us hope for that. But I go to God for you, sir.
I hope you mean we do not go to Satan here.
I wish I knew.
Come, Mr. Hale. Let's get on. Satan.
Mr. Hale, I have always wanted to ask a learned man, what signifies the reading of strange books?
By what book, sir?
Well, I cannot tell. She hides them.
Who does this?
Martha, my wife. I've waited at night many a time to find her in a corner, reading a book. Now, what do you make of that?
That's not particularly
It discomfits me. Last night, mark this, I tried and I could not pray. And then she closed her book and walked out of the house. And then mark this, Mr. Hale, I could pray again.
Ah, to stop at your prayer. I should like to speak further with you on
I'm
that.
not saying she's touched the devil now, but I admire to know what kinds of books she reads and why she hides them. She'll not answer me, you see.
Aye, we'll discuss it. Now mark me. If the devil is truly in her, you'll surely witness some frightful wonders in this room, so please to keep your wits about you. Mr. Putnam, stand close in case she flies. Now, Betty, dear, can you sit up? Can you hear me, child? I am John Hale, minister of Beverly. I've come to help you, dear. Do you remember my 2 girls from Beverly?
Why? How could it be the devil, sir? Why would he choose my house to strike of all?
What victory would the devil have to win a soul already had, Mr. Paris? It is the best the devil wants. And who is better than the minister?
That's deep, Mr. Paris. That's deep.
Now does someone afflict you, child? It need not be a woman, mind you, nor a man. Perhaps some bird invisible to others comes to you. Perhaps a pig, or a mouse, or any beast at all, or is there some figure bids you to fly? In nomine Domini Sabaoth, sui felique ite ad infernus. Abigail, what sort of dancing were you doing with her in the forest?
Why, common dancing is all.
They go out to say, sir, that I saw a kettle in the grass where they were dancing.
No, that were only soup.
Soup! What manner of soup were you?
Why, it were beans and lentils, I think.
Now, Mr. Paris, did you notice any living thing in this kettle? Perhaps a mouse? A spider? A frog?
No,
a frog?
No, that frog only jumped in. We never put it in.
A frog, Abby!
We never put it in.
Abigail, it may be that your cousin is dying. Did you call the devil last
I
night?
never called him. Tituba called him.
She called the devil?
I should like to speak with Tituba.
Goody Ann, will you bring her up?
How did she call?
Not. She spoke Barbados.
Did you feel any strangeness when she called him? A sudden cold wind, perhaps? A trembling below the ground?
I didn't see no devil. Betty, wake up now, Betty.
Abigail, you cannot evade me. Now tell me, did your cousin drink from any of the brew inside that
She
kettle?
never drank it.
Did you drink it?
No, sir.
Did Tituba ask you to drink
Tried,
it?
but I refused.
Why are you concealing? You have sold yourself to Lucifer,
I never
have you
sold
not?
myself. I'm a good girl. I did drink of the kettle. She made me do it. She made Betty do it on me. She makes me drink blood.
Blood?
I mean, no, I gave you chicken blood. No.
Woman, have you enlisted these children for the devil?
I don't trust with no devil.
Then why can she not wait? Are you silencing this child?
I love me, Betty.
You have sent out your spirit
No.
on this child, have you not? Are you gathering souls for the devil?
She sent her spirit on me at church. She make me laugh and pray.
She have often left
No,
and
she
prayed.
comes to me every night to go and drink blood. You beg me to God, she beg me to be charged. I'll tell you something. She comes to me while I sleep. She's always making me dream corruptions.
Now here!
Sometimes I wake and find myself in the open doorway, not a stitch on my body. I always hear her laughing in my sleep. I hear her singing her Barbados songs and tempting me.
Tituba, I want you to wake this
I
child.
have no power on this child.
You most certainly do, and you will lose her from it now. When did you compact with the
I
devil?
don't compact.
Oh, you will confess yourself, or I will take you out and whip you to your death!
No!
Tituba! This woman must be taken and hanged!
No, don't hate Tituba. I tell him I do desire to work for him.
Who? The devil? No, Tituba. I know that when we bind ourselves to hell, it is very hard to break free with it entirely. We are going to help you tear yourself free. You would be a good Christian woman, would you not?
I said a cookie.
And you love these children.
I don't desire to hurt these children.
Oh, and you love God, Tituba.
I love God.
In His holy name.
Oh, bless Him.
Now in His glory.
Eternal life.
Open yourself, Tituba. Open yourself and let God's holy light shine upon you. Now, when the devil comes to you, does he ever come with another person? Someone from the village. Someone you know.
No.
Who came with him?
No, those black targets.
Osborne.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Was it man or was it woman?
It was a woman.
A woman you said! What? Woman! You can see him! Why did you not see her?
They were talking and running round.
You mean out in Salem? Salem witches!
Yes!
Tituba, you must have no fear to tell us who they are. Do you understand? We will protect you. The devil can never overcome a minister. You know that, do you not?
I swear I do.
You have confessed yourself to witchcraft, and that speaks a wish to come to heaven's side. And God will bless you, Tituba.
Oh, God bless you, Mr. Hell.
You are God's instrument, put into our hands. You are selected, Tituba. You are chosen to help us discover the devil's agents among us. So speak utterly, Tituba. Turn your back on him. Face God, Tituba. Face God, and God will protect you.
God protected you, Bob.
Now, who came to you with the devil? 2, 3,
It was
4. How many?
The names I demand
Kill you, Mr. Paris!
Kill me?
He said Mr. Paris must be killed! Mr. Paris is no goodly man! Mr. Paris, mean man and no gentleman! Then he bid me rise out of my bed and cut your throat! And I say, I don't hate that man! I don't desire to kill that man! And he say, look, you work for me, Tituba, and I make you free. I gave you pretty dress to make you fly back to Barbados. And I say, you lie! You lie! And he come to me one stormy night, and he say, look, I have white people belong to me. And I look, and there was good.
Sarah Good?
I am Goody Osborne.
Oh, Thomas, my baby's always shriveled in her arms. I knew it.
You must take courage and give us all their names, Tituba. Look at them. How can you bear to see these children suffering? Look at them, Tituba. Look at their God-given innocence. Their souls are so tender, and we must protect them. The devil is out and preying upon them like a beast upon the flesh of a pure lamb, and God will bless you for your help.
I want to open myself. I want the light of God. I want the love of sweet Jesus.
Praise God.
Abigail.
I danced with the devil. I saw him. I wrote in his book. I go back to God. I saw Sarah Good with the devil. I saw Bridget Bishop with the devil. I saw Goody Osborne with the devil. I saw George
You're always with the devil. What did she say?
with the devil. I saw Goody Simmer with the devil. keeps you so late?
We're out planting along the forest edge.
Oh, so you're done then?
Aye. The farms are seated. The boys asleep.
They will be soon.
Pray now for a fair summer.
Aye.
Are you well today?
I am.
Smells good.
It is a rabbit.
Oh, is it? In Jonathan's trap?
No. No, I found it sitting in the corner this morning. Just walked in like it came to visit.
Oh, that's a fair sign walking in now.
My God. Hurt my heart to strip her, though. Poor rabbit.
Well, Susan.
I took great care. She tender?
Aye. It's woman's blood beneath the clods.
Is it?
I think we'll see Greenfield soon.
That's well.
Aye. I've been thinking that if the crop were good, I'd buy George Jacob's heifer. How would that please you, Elizabeth?
It would.
I mean to please you.
I know it, John.
Cider? Farm's a continent when you go walking in it foot by foot, dropping seeds.
It must be.
I was thinking that we'd walk the fields together tomorrow. I've never seen such a load of flowers on the earth. Massachusetts is a beauty in the spring.
Aye, it is.
Elizabeth, are you sad again? I think you're sad.
It's just that you come so late, I thought you'd gone to Salem this afternoon.
Why would I go to Salem? I have no business there.
You did speak of going earlier this week.
Well, I thought better of it.
Mary Warren's there today.
Why'd you let her? You heard me forbid her to go to Salem anymore.
I couldn't stop her.
Elizabeth, it's a fault. It is a fault. You're the mistress here, not Mary Warren.
She frightened all my strength away.
How may that mouse frighten you,
It is
Elizabeth?
a mouse no more. She come into the house with her chin held up like the daughter of a prince and says to me, I must go to court, Goody Proctor. I am an official now.
Court? What court?
Aye, it is a proper court they have. 4 judges they sent out of Boston, she says. Weighty magistrates of the court. And at the head sits the deputy governor of the province.
Why, she's mad.
Oh, to God she were. There be 14 in the jail now. And the court have the power to hang them too.
Elizabeth, they'll never hang.
The deputy governor promised hanging if they not confess, John. Mary Warren speak of Abigail as though she were a saint to hear her. And Abigail will lead the girls into the crowd. And the crowd will part like them for the sea to Israel. And the person's brought before them. And if she scream or howl or fall to the floor, the person's clapped in jail for bewitching him.
Well, it's a black mischief.
I think you must tell them, John. I think you must tell them it's a fraud.
Aye, it is.
That you go to Ezekiel Cheever, he knows you well. And tell him what she told you last week at her uncle's house. It had naught to do with witchcraft, she said.
Aye, she did. She did.
God forbid you keep this from the court, John. It cannot be kept.
Aye. It must be told. It's a wonder they believe her.
I would let you go to Salem, John.
I'll think on it.
You cannot keep it.
I know I cannot keep it. I said I'll think on it.
Good. Then let you think on it.
Elizabeth, I'm only wondering how I may prove what she told me. She's a saint now. It's not so easy to prove she's a fraud. I have no proof for it. She told me in her room alone.
You were alone with her.
I? For a moment?
Why, then it is not as you told me.
For a moment, I say. The others come in soon after.
Do as you wish.
Woman, I'll not have your suspicion anymore.
I have no suspicion.
I'll not have it.
Then let you not earn
You
it.
doubt me yet?
John, if it were not Abigail, you must
Now
know
look you, it's more
I see what I see, John!
You'll judge me no longer, Elizabeth. I have good reason to think before I call fraud on Abigail, and I will think on it. Don't you look to your own improvement before you judge your husband anymore. I have forgot Abigail, and you...
John.
Oh, spare me! You forgive nothing and forget nothing. I've gone tiptoe in this house for the past 7 months. And I've not gone from here to there without anything to please you, and still, an everlasting funeral marches around your heart.
John,
It's like I come into a court when I come to this house. I cannot speak, but I am judged for loss.
John, you were not open with me. I asked if you saw
I'll
me with
plead my honesty no more, Elizabeth.
John, I am only...
No more! Should have roared you down when you first told me your suspicion. But I wilted, and like a Christian, confessed! Confessed, Elizabeth! Some dream I had must have convinced me that you were God that day. But you're not God, you're not, and let you remember that! Let you look sometimes for the goodness in me, and judge me not!
I do not judge you, John. The magistrate that sits in your heart judges you. I never thought you but a good man. Only somewhat bewildered.
Elizabeth, your justice would freeze beer! Mary, how do you go to Salem when I forbid it? Do you mock me? I'll have you whipped if you ever dare leave this house again!
I am sick, Mr. Proctor. Pray, hurt me not. My insides are all shuddery, and I am in the proceedings all day, sir.
And what are the proceedings here? Well, we proceed to keep this house, which you are paid £9 a year to do so, while my wife not wholly well.
I made a gift for you today, Goody Proctor. I had to sit long hours in a chair and pass the time with sewing.
I thank you, Mary. It is a fair profit.
We must all love each other now, Goody Proctor.
Aye. Indeed we must.
I'll get up early in the morning and clean the house, but I must sleep now.
Mary, is it true? There'll be 14 women arrested?
No, sir. There'll be 39.
Oh, why she's weeping. What ails you, child?
Goody Osborne will hang!
Hey! Hang, you say?
Aye.
And the deputy governor will permit it?
He sentenced her. He must, but not Sarah Good, for Sarah Good confessed, you see.
Confess? To what?
That she sometimes made a compact with Lucifer and wrote her name in his black book with her blood and bound herself to torment Christians until God's thrown down and we must all worship hell forevermore.
Mary, surely you know what a jabber she is. You told the court about that, no?
Mr. Proctor, in open court, she near to choke us all to death.
How choked you,
She sent her
Mary?
spirit out.
Mary, surely you
She
don't.
tried to kill me many times, Goody Proctor.
I don't remember that.
I never knew it before. I never knew anything before. When she come into the courtroom, I say to myself, I must not accuse this woman, for she sleeps in ditches and so very old and poor. But then she sat there, denying and denying, and I feel a misty coldness climbing up my back, and the skin on my skull begin to creep, and I feel a clamor on my neck, and I cannot breathe air. And then I hear a voice, a screaming voice, and it were my voice, and all at once I remember everything she'd done to me.
And what does she do to you, Mary?
So many times, Mr. Proctor, she come to this very door, begging bread and a cup of cider, and mark this. Whenever I turned her away empty, she mumbled.
But she may mumble if she's hungry.
But what does she mumble? You must remember, Goody Proctor, last month on Monday, I think. She walked away and I thought my guts would burst for 2 days after. Do you remember it?
I think I do, but I don't think that's...
And so I told that to Judge Hathor, and he said, Goody good, what curse do you mumble that this girl must fall sick after turning you away? And then she replies, why, your excellence, no curse at all. I only say my commandments. I hope I may say my commandments, says she.
Well, that's an upright answer.
Aye, but then Judge Hathorne say, recite for us your commandments. And out of all 10, she could not say a single one. She never knew no commandments, and they had her in a flat line.
And so condemned her?
But they must if she condemned herself.
But Mary, the proof! The proof!
I told you the proof. It's hard proof, hard as a rock, the judges said.
Mary, you'll not be going to that court any longer.
I must tell you, sir, I will be gone every day now, and I am amazed you do not see what weighty work we do.
What work do you do? Surprised to think that it's work for a Christian girl to be hanging old ladies.
But they will not hang if they confess. Sarah Good will only sit in jail sometime, and Here's a wonder for you. Think on this. Goody Good is pregnant.
Pregnant?
Pregnant? The woman's near 60. They had Dr. Griggs examine her, and she's full to the brim and smoking a pipe all these years, and no husband either. But she's safe, thank God for. Will not hurt the innocent child. But be that not a marvel? You must see it, sir. It's God's work we do, and I am an official of the court, they say, and I.
Oh, I'll official you.
I'll not stand whipping anymore, Mr. Proctor.
I will whip the devil out of you, Mary.
I've saved her life today.
I am accused.
You are somewhat mentioned, but I said I never see no sign you ever sent your spirit out to hurt no one, and seeing I do live so closely with you, they dismissed it.
Who accused me?
I am bound by law, I cannot tell it. I hope you'll not be so sarcastical no more. 4 judges and the king's deputy sat to dinner with us but an hour ago. I would have you speak civilly to me from this hour.
Go to bed, Mary Warren.
I'll not be ordered to bed no more. I am 18 and a woman, however single.
If you wish to sit up, then sit up.
I wish to go to bed.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, the noose. The noose is up.
There will be no noose, Elizabeth.
She wants me dead, John. I knew all week it would come to this.
You heard her say she dismissed it. They
What
dismissed
of tomorrow? She will cry me out until they
Sit
take
you
me.
down, Elizabeth.
John, you knew she wanted me
I
dead.
say sit down. You must be wise now.
Oh, indeed. Indeed.
Fear nothing. We'll go to Ezekiel Cheever and I'll tell him that she said they were all for sport.
With so many in the court now, I think more than that is needed. Favor me with this. Go to Abigail.
Have I said Abigail?
John, grant me this. You have a faulty understanding of young girls. There is a promise made and
What
said.
promise?
Spoke or silent. A promise is surely made. And she may dote on it now, as I am sure she does, and hopes to kill me than to take my place. It is her dearest hope, John, you know it. There be 1,000 names, why does she call out mine? I am no Goody Good who sleeps in ditches, nor Goody Osborne have drunk and outwitted. There be a certain danger in calling out such a farmer's wife, but she sees monstrous profit in it. She wishes to take my place, John.
She cannot think it, Elizabeth.
John, have you ever shown her somewhat of contempt? She will not pass you in the church, for you will blush.
Elizabeth, I may blush for my sins.
I think she sees another meaning in that
And
blush.
what see you? What do you see, Elizabeth?
I think you'd be ashamed. For I am there, and she's so close.
When will you know me? Or a stone I would have cracked of shame this 7 months.
Then go and tell her she's a whore. Whatever promise she may sense, break it, John! Break it!
Good then, go.
Oh, how unwillingly.
Oh, I'll crush her harder than the oldest cinder in hell, fear not. But pray you, begrudge me not my anger.
Your anger.
Woman, do you truly think me so base?
I never called you base.
Then how do you charge me with such a promise? The promise that a stallion gives a mare, I gave that girl?
Then why do you anger when I
Because
bid you
it
break
speaks deceit, and I am honest! But I'll plead my honesty no more, Elizabeth. I see now that your spirit twists around the single heir of my life, and I will never, ever tear it free!
Oh, you'll tear it free. When you come to learn that I will be your only wife or no wife at all. She has an error when you get John Proctor, you know it well.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Hale.
I hope I do not startle you, sir.
No, it's just that we heard no horse.
You are the White Proctor.
Hi, Elizabeth.
You're not off.
No, it's not used to visitors this late. You sit, Mr. Hale?
I will. But you sit too, Goody Proctor.
Will you drink cider?
No, it rebels my stomach, sir, and I have some further traveling yet to do tonight. Now, I shall not keep you long, but I do have some business with you.
Business of the court?
No, I come of my own, without the court's authority. And hear me, man, I know not if you are aware, but your wife's name is mentioned in the court.
Hi. We know what our Mary Warren told us. We're entirely amazed, Mr. Hale.
I am a stranger here, as you know, and in my ignorance I find it hard to draw a clear opinion of those who come accused before the court. And so, this afternoon and now tonight, I go from house to house just now. I come from Rebecca Nurse's house.
Rebecca's been charged.
God forbid such a one be charged, woman. She is, however, mentioned.
Surely you cannot believe such a woman trafficked with the devil.
Oh, it is possible.
You cannot think it, Mr. Hale.
This is a strange time, mister. No man may longer doubt the powers of the dark are gathered in monstrous attack upon this village. There's too much evidence now to deny it, you will agree, sir.
I have no knowledge in that line, but surely you find it strange that so pious a woman becomes devil's bitch after 70 years of good prayer.
Aye, but the devil is a wily one, and you cannot deny it. However, she is far from accused, and I know she will not be. I thought, sir, as to put some questions as to the Christian character of this household, if you permit.
Well, you have no fear of questions here, sir.
Good then. Now, in the book of record that Mr. Paris keeps, I note that you are rarely in church on Sabbath day.
You're surely mistaken.
26 times in 17 months, sir. I must call that rare. Would you tell me why you are so absent?
I knew not that I must account to that man whether I go to church or stay at home. My wife was sick all winter, Mr. Hale.
Aye, so I'm told. But you, mister, why could you not come alone?
I surely went when I could, and when I could not, I prayed in this house.
Your house is not a church, sir. Your theology must tell you that.
Aye, it does. But it also tells me that a minister may pray to God without golden candlesticks upon the altar.
What golden candlestick?
Since we built that church, there are pewter candlesticks upon the altar. Francis Nurse made them, and sweeter hands had never touched the metal. But ever since Mr. Paris came, he preached of nothing but golden candlesticks for 20 weeks until he had them. I live in the earth from dawn of day till blink of night. When I look to heaven and I see my money glaring at his elbows, it hurt my prayer, sir. It hurts my prayer. I think that man dreams of cathedrals, not clapboard meeting houses.
And yet, mister, a Christian on Sabbath day must be in church. Tell me, you have 3 children.
Aye, boys.
How come it that only 2 were baptized?
I like it not that that man should lay his hand upon my baby.
I must say it, sir.
I do not see the light of God in that man.
That is not for you to decide. The man's ordained, so therefore the light of God is in him.
What's your suspicion, Mr. Hale?
No suspicion.
I nailed the roof upon that church. I hung the door.
Oh, did you?
Aye.
That's a good sign.
Perhaps I've been a little quick to bring the man to book, but we've never desired the destruction of religion in this house. I think that's on your mind, is it not?
I have. There is a softness in your records, Mr.
Softness.
Proctor. A softness.
I do think perhaps we have been a bit too harsh on Mr. Paris, but I can assure you, sir, we never loved the devil here.
Do you know your commandments, Elizabeth?
I surely do. I'm a covenanted Christian woman.
And you, man?
My commandments?
Let you
I'm
repeat
sure-
them, if you will.
Well, I'm sure I know them. Thou shalt not kill.
Aye.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods and bear unto thee an engraven image. Thou shalt honor thy father and mother. Thou shalt remember thy Sabbath day and keep it holy. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not Thou shalt honor no false gods before me, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods and bear unto thee an engraven image.
You have said that twice, sir.
Aye.
Adultery, John.
Aye. Adultery. Between the 2 of us, we surely know them all. I think it's a small fault.
Theology, sir, is a fortress, and no crack in a fortress may be accounted for as small.
No love of Satan in this house, Mr. Hale.
I pray it, sir. I pray it dearly. Well, then I'll bid you good night.
Mr. Hale, I do think you are suspecting me somewhat.
Goody Proctor, I do not judge you. My duty is to add what I may to the godly wisdom of the court. I pray you both good health and good fortune.
And I think
Good
you
night,
must
sir.
tell him. I think he must be told.
What's that?
Mr. Hale, I have no proof for this except my word be taken true. I know that the girl's sickness has naught to do with witchcraft.
Not to do with witchcraft.
Aye. They were sporting in the woods and they were caught by Mr. Paris. They were frightened and took sick.
Who told you this?
Abigail Williams, sir.
Abigail.
Aye.
Abigail Williams said it had not to do with witchcraft.
She told me the day you came, sir.
Why did you keep this man?
Did not think that the whole world had gone daft with this nonsense.
Nonsense! Why, I myself have examined Tituba, Saragud, and numerous others who have confessed to dealing with the devil. They have confessed that—
Then why shouldn't they if they'll hang for denying it? There are those that'll swear to anything before they hang. Surely you've thought of that.
I have, sir. I have. And you would testify to this in court.
I had not reckoned going into court with this, but I must. I will.
You falter there, sir.
I falter nothing. I may wonder if my story will be credited in such a court. I may wonder it when a minister as steady-minded as herself will suspicion such a woman. A woman that has never lied and cannot lie, and the world knows she cannot lie. I may falter somewhat, mister. I am no fool.
Proctor, let you be open with me, for I have heard such a thing that troubles me. It is said that you may not believe that there are even witches in this world. Is that true, sir?
I know not what I have said. I may have said it. I wonder if there are witches in this world.
Then you do not believe
The
that
Bible speaks of witches. I'll not be denying it.
And you, woman?
I cannot believe it.
You cannot.
Elizabeth, you bewilder him.
If you think a devil may own the woman's soul, if she has kept such an upright way as I have, then I must say.
But woman, you do believe that there are witches in the world?
If you think that I am one, then I say there are none.
Shows that you do not fly against the gospel.
She did not mean to fly against the gospel, Mr. Hale.
Question Abigail Williams about the gospel, not myself.
Hale, she believed the gospel. Every word. This is a Christian house, sir. A Christian house.
God keep you both. Let the third child be quickly baptized, and go you without fail each Sunday into Sabbath prayer. Keep a solemn and quiet way among you, sir. I think that's the best.
Giles, what's the matter?
They take my wife, sir, and Rebecca nurse.
Rebecca's in the jail?
Cheever come and take her in his wagon. We've only now come from the jail and they'll not even let us see them.
They've surely gone wild now, Mr. Hale.
Redford Hill, can you not speak with the deputy governor? I am sure that he mistakes these women.
Pray be
My
calm,
wife-
Mr. Nurse.
My wife is the brick and mortar of the church, sir, and Martha Corey. There is not a woman closer to God than Martha.
How is Rebecca charged, Mr. Nurse?
For murder, she's charged for the miraculous and supernatural murder of Goody Putnam's babies. What am I to do, Mr. Hale?
Oh, believe me, if Rebecca be tainted, there's nothing to stop the whole green world from burning. Let you rest upon the justice of the court, and they will send her home. I know
we
it.
tried in court.
How may such a woman murder babies, Mr. Hale?
Man, remember, just an hour before the devil fell, God thought him beautiful in heaven.
Well, I never said my wife were a witch, Mr. Hale. I only said she were reading her books.
Exactly what complaints were made on your wife, Mr. Corey.
Bloody mongrel Walcott charged her. You see, he bought a pig of my wife 4 or 5 years ago, and the pig died soon after. So that fella come dancing in for his money back. And my Martha, she tell him, Walcott, if you haven't the wit to feed a pig properly, you'll not live to own many. And now he goes to court, claiming he cannot keep a pig more than 4 weeks because my Martha come bewitch them with her books.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Cheever.
Good evening, all. Mr. Hale, John Proctor.
I hope you're not here on business of the court.
Aye, sir. I'm a clerk of the court now, you know.
Pig Ezekiel, that an honest tailor might have gone to heaven must burn in hell. You'll burn for this, do you know it?
No, I must do as I'm told. You surely know that, Giles. And I must leave you, not be sending me to hell.
I tell you, I like not the sound of it.
Now believe me, Proctor. How heavy be the law. Oh, it's tonnage I carry my back tonight. I have a warrant for your wife.
Oh, warrants, you say? You say she were not charged, Mr. Hale!
I know nothing of it. When was she charged,
I'm
Mr.
given
Cheever?
16 warrant tonight, and she is one.
Who charged her?
Abigail Williams.
Abigail Williams? On what proof?
Mr.
What?
Proctor, I have very little time. I'm bid by the court to search a house, but I like not to search a house. Will you hand me any poppets here?
Poppets?
I never kept no pockets since I were a girl.
I spy a poppet, Goody Proctor.
Might this be Mary Warren's?
Would you give it to me?
Why? Has the court discovered a text in poppets now?
Do you keep any more like this in the
No,
house?
or that one until tonight. What signifies a poppet, Mr. Cheever?
Why poppet? Poppet may signify. Now, woman, come with me.
She will not go with you. Get Mary Warren now.
No, I am forbid to leave her from my sight!
We will leave her out of sight and out of mind, Mr. Cheever. Get Mary now.
What signifies a poppet, Mr. Cheever?
Why poppet? A puppet might signify that. Like this.
What is it?
Like this. It is a needle! Willard! It is a needle!
And what signifies a needle?
This go hard with her, Proctor. I had my doubts. I tell you, I had my doubts. But this is calamity. You see, sir, it is a needle.
Why, what meaning has it, sir?
The girl, the Williams, Abigail Williams. Tonight, she sat at Reverend Paris's house to eat. And without word nor warning, she falls to the floor like a struck beast and screams a scream that'll make a bull weep. And stuck 2 inches in the flesh of her stomach, he draw a needle out. And demanding how it became so stuck, she claims it was her wife's familiar spirit.
Why, she stuck it in herself. I hope you're not taking this for proof.
'Tis hard proof, Proctor. I find here a puppet Goody Proctor keeps, and stuck in the belly of the puppet a needle. And I tell you, I never warranted to see you such proof of hell, and I bid you obstruct me not, for I...
Mary, tell Mr. Cheever how this puppet came into this house.
Puppet's that?
This puppet! This puppet!
Why, I think it is mine.
It is yours, is it not?
It is, sir.
How did it come into this house?
Why, I made it in the court and give it to Goody Proctor tonight.
There you have it, sir.
Mary Warren, a needle were found stuck inside this puppet.
Why, I meant no harm by
You
it.
stuck it in yourself?
I think I did.
What say you, sir?
Child, are you certain this be your natural memory? Could it be that perhaps someone even now is conjuring you to say this?
Not just me. I know, sir. I'm entirely myself. Let you ask Susanna Walcott. She saw me sew in it. Ask Abby. Abby sat beside me when I made it.
Bid him be gone. Your mind is surely settled now. Bid him out.
What signifies a needle?
You charged a cold and cruel murder on Abigail.
Murder? I charge no murder.
Abigail were stabbed tonight, and a needle were found stuck into her belly.
And she charges me.
Aye.
Why? This girl is murdered! She must be ripped from the earth! Ripped from the earth! Willard, you heard it! Ripped from the earth!
Out of here, Mr. Cheever.
Dare not touch the warrants, Proctor!
Out of here.
You ripped the deputy governor!
Damn the deputy governor out of my house. Proctor, since you've gone with them.
Proctor! If she is innocent...
Oh, if she is innocent! Well, you know, wonder if Abigail is innocent or Mr. Paris. Is the accuser always holy now? Were they born this morning as clean as God's fingers? They were not. I'll tell you what's walking Salem. Vengeance is walking Salem. We are where we always were, but now crazy little children are jangling the keys to the kingdom, and common vengeance writes the law. This warrants vengeance, and I will not give my wife to vengeance.
I must go with
You will not go.
John, I have 9 men outside. You cannot keep her. The law binds me. I cannot budge.
You will see her taken.
Proctor, to court his...
Oh, Pontius Pilate! God will not let you wash your hands of this.
John, I think I must go with them. Mary, there's enough bread in the oven for morning. We will bake more in the afternoon. Treat Mr. Proctor as you were his daughter. You owe me that, and much more.
Elizabeth, I'll bring you home soon. I'll bring you home.
Oh, John, bring me soon.
I will fall like an ocean upon that corpse. Fear nothing.
I will fear nothing. When the children wake, speak nothing of witchcraft. It will frighten them. Tell the children I've gone to visit someone sick.
Willard, you will not chain her. Damn you, man, I will not see her chained. You will not chain her.
This is
Damn you, Willard.
In God's name, I cannot help myself. I must chain them all.
I'll pay you, Willard. I'll surely pay
Man, are
you.
you blind?
Mr. Proctor,
Oh, out of my sight.
Charity, Proctor, charity! What I have heard in her favor, I will not fear to testify in court. God help me, I cannot judge her guilty nor innocent. I know her not. Only this consider. The world goes mad and it profits you nothing. You should lay the cost to the vengeance of a little girl.
You are a coward, Mr. Hale. Though you be ordained in God's own tears, you are a coward!
Proctor, I cannot think God be provoked so grandly by such a petty cause. The jails are packed, man. Our greatest judges sit in Salem now, and hangings promised. We must think on cause, man, whether murder done perhaps and never brought to light, abomination, some secret blasphemy that stinks to heaven. Think on cause, man, and let you help me to discover it. For there's your way believed, there's your only way. When such confusion strikes upon the world, let you counsel among yourselves. Think on your village, and what may have drawn from heaven such thundering wrath upon you all. And I shall pray, God, open up our eyes.
Never heard no murder done in Salem.
Believe me, Francis. Believe me.
John, tell me, John, are we lost?
Go home now, Giles. We'll talk on it in the morning.
What you think on it? Well, come early tomorrow.
All right, go now.
Good night, John.
Proctor, very likely they'll let her come home once they're given proper.
You're coming to the court with me, Mary Warren.
I cannot charge murder on Abigail.
You will tell the court who made that puppet and who stuck the needle in.
She'll kill me for saying that. Abby will charge lechery on you, Mr. Proctor.
She's told you.
I have known it, sir. She'll ruin you with it, I know she will.
Good then. Her saintliness is done with. We'll slide into her pit together.
Turn on
You
me.
will tell the court what you know.
They'll turn on me, I cannot.
Make your peace, Mary Warren.
I cannot.
Now hell and heaven grapple their backs, and all pretense is ripped away. Make your peace. Peace. It is a providence and no great charge. We are what we always were in Salem, but naked now. I'm naked, and the wind, God's icy wind, will blow.